Hello and welcome to this week's Face to Face. With me is constitutional expert, advocate Clafat Coutinho. Doctor, welcome to the show. Doctor, these days the Lok Ayukta has been in the news for a variety of reasons. One is the decisions they have taken, wherein FIRs they have asked to be filed on various parties, last being MLA and former Power Minister Madkekar, and even earlier, and also that the Lok Ayukta's tenure is over and the government has not decided on whom to this. So, Doctor, what I would like from you, could you explain to us what is the institution of the Lok Ayukta? One, why is it so important, and why there were agitations by that time people in the IAC and the BJP and whatever asking for a Lok Ayukta, but now that they are in power they are very hesitant about pushing this institution. Let's go from the history, pre and now, status. We'll start with that and then we'll go on to the other present results. Doctor.
Right now the problem, at least in Goa, is that the Lok Ayukta has made some reports and required the government to file FIRs. They have come to some preliminary findings against various government functionaries, and the government has done nothing or little in the matter, where the Lok Ayukta has already given its findings. Now, in 2011, when this entire India Against Corruption movement started with the main demand for Lok Ayukta, it was thought that the idea of Lok Ayukta as an institution has come. It was thought that with the institution of Lokpal and Lok Ayukta, our problems would get over. If you go back in history, we will find this institution has been functioning in various Scandinavian countries. It has been there in England, and from the year 1966, a demand for an anti-corruption body has been growing in the country, and nothing has been happening. In the year 1988, there was a law passed by the Goa Assembly called the Public Men's Corruption Act. It was in force in the year 1988.
Okay.
But somewhere in the year 2002, the central parliament, the central government gave model laws for all the state, and the Goa State Assembly also passed a Lok Ayukta Act 2003. So the Assembly had passed that law.
Okay.
The governor did not sign that law.
How long the government did not sign the law?
The governor did not sign the law because the governor felt it interfered with certain powers of the central government.
Okay.
The governor reserved that law for approval of the president. Now it remained pending. It remained pending from 2002 to 2011. In 2011, when the movement against corruption started, it was thought that the old law should be resurrected, and the infirmities pointed out by the governor should be corrected, and the law should be passed as it is. Now, in fact, I remember at that time, I was a member of the Law Commission, and we had told the government that this law is outdated, this law will not help the government, this law will not help the civil society. But then at that time, the Assembly in its wisdom unanimously thought that 2003 law would be good law, and the 2003 law was passed in 2011, and that law is the law that is in force today. The major problem with that law is that it is a recommendatory body. Now, recommendation is to the government. The government may thereafter act on the recommendation. The government may reject the recommendation.
Doctor, let me interrupt you slightly. Now, as a member of the law commission, तुम्ही किती केले? You all had made some observations and said that some things to be changed.
We had not only made observation, we prepared a new draft, totally new draft, and told the government that it would be better to have a draft, to have a new law, not the old law. Now, simply because we felt that making the government a power to implement the recommendation of the Lok Ayukta, if the government does not recommend, then nothing could be done about it. Now,
so then what happened? Were those recommendations taken or no, by the government?
They were not accepted by the government, and the government passed the old law in the same form as it was passed earlier, except for rectifying the anomalies pointed out by the governor.
Okay, so besides that,
Otherwise,
basically, basically now this law is at the whims and mercies of the government. Now suppose suppose if a government functionary or an MLA or a minister is found prima facie guilty and the Lok Ayukta gives directions, it's not necessary for the government to do anything.
Not necessary at all. Not necessary at all under the present law.
Then now, what is the point of having this Lok Ayukta when all the any other investigative agency in the state also is basically needs to take permission from the government? Yes, doctor.
Our recommendation was like this to the government at that time, and I felt that that was the correct thing to do. And it was like this because, see, 2003, the level of corruption, the level of societal indifference, and the way the government behaved with the society was totally different. And 2011, after a period of about 8 years, the situation had worsened. So we felt that a Lok Ayukta must have two wings, an investigation wing and a prosecution wing. In the sense that the Lok Ayukta itself investigates. Like today you find we have a Lok Ayukta in Goa without an investigation wing. He does not have SPs, he does not have DYSPs, he does not have PIs to investigate, he does not have investigating officers. So all that he does is, he sits in the office, he hears the matters and passes orders based upon what he heard in the office. He has heard in the office. This is not a way to investigate. So our recommendation was that the Lok Ayukta would have to investigate, and the Lok Ayukta itself files a FIR, and the Lok Ayukta not only files a FIR, the Lok Ayukta must have a prosecution wing. The Lok Ayukta itself prosecutes. In the sense now,
explain.
Government going to the police and asking a FIR to be filed does not arise. The Lok Ayukta files a FIR.
Correct.
The Lok Ayukta investigates, and thereafter the Lok Ayukta prosecutes. The Lok Ayukta says, yes, this is a case before the court. It will proceed before the court. It would have a prosecution wing. The Lok Ayukta would be some sort of a prosecutor before a court of law. This was what we had suggested. Now you will find that even at the national level, we thought this problem would be sorted out. The problem of corruption would be sorted out with the institution of Lokpal at the center. Now, can I ask you the name of the Lokpal currently? See, we do not even know the name of the Lokpal.
Okay, we don't know whether there is a Lokpal or no. We don't know that.
Yes, no, there was. I do not know whether that institution is still there. To my mind, the Lokpal has retired.
Yes.
And there is currently no Lokpal functioning. I may be wrong there.
Okay.
But the position is so bad that we don't even know whether a Lokpal is functioning. And we thought that the idea of corruption ending has come, the idea of Lokpal has come. But somehow the governments have beaten the institution of Lokpal. Now I will ask you another
Wait, doctor. Before you go further, I just want to interrupt you here. Now we have got so many states in the country.
Yes.
Okay, the center is there. So many states are there. Now, in which states is the institution of the Lokpal wherein the government has got a prosecution wing, or it has to take the recommendations of the Lok Ayukta and prosecute and file an FIR? Are there any states in Goa, or is it just
See, according to me, I would not be in a position to tell you exactly in which states, but
Okay.
the position is like this. Have you heard anywhere the Lokayukta has made a report which has been implemented by the government? Have you
I'm
heard?
not.
Have you? The Lokayukta is functioning in almost all the states. In
Yes.
some states it may not be there, but at least the law is there. But the institution of Lokayukta in almost all the states is there.
Karnataka,
Because-
once upon a time, Karnataka and
yes,
Meghalaya.
yes. Santosh Hegde.
Hegde,
Santosh
yes.
Hegde brought this to the forefront when he himself filed the FIR against the then Chief Minister
Yedurappa.
Yadurappa.
Yes.
And it was thought that based upon that it would happen, it would take life. But when the center as well as the state did not want the law to be that powerful, because if the law is made that powerful, the government would be powerless. As I know, even in Karnataka, that law has been now amended.
Amended, yeah, yes. Now, powerless may not be. I don't know. I may not agree with Dr. with you on the word powerless. But what I'm saying is that would it make sense for a government, for a country like India, or for our MLAs or for our ministers and all who are, if you read the media, every second day somebody or the other is involved in so many across parties, across states, across regions. So maybe would you feel that expecting something like this from a government, from MLAs who obviously will think, "Arey, tomorrow this law can be used against us." Do you really think that this will happen? The Lokayukta. I'm asking you this question because I want to go into the history later. But I'm asking because I want to know whether, in your studied opinion, see, you're not a layman. You're not a layman. You're an expert. You're a constitutional expert. Plus, you're an analyst.
Yes, the problem is like this. According to me, now it is extremely difficult. The society is taking everything lying down. It was in 2011 that I am repeating, we thought the time has come. But since it was not struck at that time, somehow I feel we have missed the bus. Maybe another such movement by the civil society forces the government to bring in a better law, both at the center as well as in the states.
We'll talk about this the agitation movement little later. But what I'm saying is, again I repeat, Dr. Do you, as an expert, an advocate, you see the worst of life. You have analyzed, you have seen governments at close quarters across this. Do you think that the government will actually allow this to happen?
In 2011, it was the Congress government that was in power.
Correct.
They resisted bringing in an institution as powerful as recommended by India Against Corruption at that time. The state resisted, but as a lip service, they brought a Lokpal institution and Lokayuktas in the state to somehow cool down the society. But thereafter, we will find from 2012 to 2020 now, nothing has happened. No steps are being taken to strengthen the institution of Lokpal and Lokayuktas at the center. In fact, at the central level, number of petitions had to be filed before the Supreme Court demanding that the institution of Lokpal be appointed.
Okay, Dr. We are almost out of time in the first half. We are moving into a short break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Dr. As we were talking in the first half, we were talking about the agitation and the movement and all that. So please continue.
Yeah, no. See, what I was saying was that this movement for anti-corruption body almost started from 66, and
Correct.
from 66 from 66, see, there was a committee appointed by the central government called the Santanam Committee, which had recommended various bodies at the central and the state level. And in
Okay.
2011, we thought that the institution was coming. But then what we got is only a pale shadow of what the society wanted at that time. But
Or even
one
now,
thing
probably.
I will tell,
Even
No,
now,
no,
society
I-
wants a strong sir.
see, society brought the corruption movement on the table in 2011. I don't see the same movement, the anti-corruption movement, or such a movement on the table today. It is not that corruption is any less. I would say from 2011, with the passage of time, it has only increased. But somehow we, as a society, has taken this matter lying down. Somehow,
Could I put up a Doctor, could I put up a hypothesis?
yes,
I see. Now I am saying in 2011,
Yes.
as you are aware, as you've said, it was the Congress government. So lot of
Yes.
the elements of the IAC were in the BJP. They were
Yes.
now they are in AAP, and some have
correct.
been sidelined, or some have retired, or some have
you are
taken a
right,
break.
you are right, but politically,
Yeah, wait, Doctor. Let me
politically
put up a
on-
hypothesis. This is a hypothesis. Now you tell me. It's a model I'm putting up before you. So at that time, the opposition was strong. It was organized. The full background was there. Even the Sangh was there, and they managed to organize this people, society. They came out. Now today, these people are in power. This very large amount of these forces, be it as AAP or be it as BJP or be it as anything, they are in power today. I don't know. Is it the inability of the opposition today to mobilize the same people, or is it that the opposition, in whatever form it is not interested because it feels like we will come to power and then this might be a double-edged sword? This is a hypothesis. Do you agree? And what do you have to say on this specific point?
They may take it as a double-edged sword and not act on it, but by and large, it is the failure of the opposition, because finally, what they would do when they come to power is for them to do at that time. But certainly, when they are in the opposition, it is their responsibility to see to it that such issues are focused. But as far as the opposition is concerned, there can't be any doubt that there is a complete collapse of the opposition. The opposition has failed, at least in this respect. Of course, in many respects they have failed. It is a failure of the opposition that the ruling party has a run over the country today, and what they are doing almost in every matter is because the opposition is weak and it has failed. There cannot be any two doubts on that.
Okay, Doctor, let me just go back a little bit. In 2011, you were very well aware. You were there. You were observing. You were seeing. Now, in 2011, how is it that this Lok Ayukta movement became so strong? It became so vociferous. Could you give us a little bit of a background for people, because many people would not know
Yes.
how it came up?
Correct. See, according to me, at that time, the Lok Ayukta movement got a fillip through the then Comptroller and Auditor General,
Yes.
who brought this issue of 2G, where he said that if the 2G spectrum was auctioned, India would have got 1,76,000 crores. He felt that 1,70,000 crores have been lost by giving licenses to various telephone companies. So from that time onwards, the one was on 2G, next was on coal. So various, where also it was his view that it had to be auctioned. So according to me, it was sin, where as though the government was frittering away national resources worth thousands of crores of rupees, and this was backed by the government CAG. Now that brought this issue of corruption on the table. the India Against Corruption, Anna Hazare, Arvind Kejriwal, backed by Prashant Bhushan at that time, the BJP, the RSS elements all took it up and succeeded in making a movement which almost brought the government down. Today you will find uh, those matters are completely forgotten. We will find that D. Raja has been acquitted. We find that auctioning of the coal mines is happening. We are now seeing that there is a resistance to auctioning of mines in Goa, and we are very happy about it. So look at the way we are also looking at the entire system. Nobody in Goa says mine should be auctioned in the same manner as it was said at that time that a coal mine should be auctioned. See,
Correct. Absolutely.
somehow I find that we missed the opportunity at that time. If the institution of the Lokpal and Lokayukta was strengthened in the heat of the movement at that time, it would have been great.
Doctor, what do you recommend? I would like to break this into two, in fact, and then I can ask you again or later. What would your recommendation for a strong Lokayukta be? I know you've gone in a little bit saying 2 weeks, but in details, recommendations which all had made as the legal task force, plus what makes sense for a country like India, where there have been allegations. There have been
Yes.
allegations even during COVID times of corruption, be it in hotel rooms, be it in ease of business, being in construction. Even now, when people are in a pandemic, there have been allegations. So, what you feel are the recommendations, find solutions. And second part I would like to know is how is it we can possibly push, because corruption is not becoming less, it's just getting worse.
See, we will find our democracy would depend upon how strong the regulatory institutions are. Whether
Yes.
it is the Election Commission of India, whether it is the Supreme Court of India, or the High Courts, the CAG, similarly the Lokpal and Lokayukta, these are the institutions that can keep our democracy going. Now,
Yes.
who mans these institutions is also very important. Now, keep in mind that even at the Supreme Court level, the question before the court for decades now is who should appoint judges? Whether judges should appoint judges or the executive should have a hand in appointing of the judges. This debate has gone on for decades and we have not yet settled that issue. So I would say until we get institutions which shall stand to the bulwark of the executive, we will not find success in our endeavors in fighting the system. Now look at the Lokpal or Lokayuktas. We will have to see to it that the appointment is completely independent of the executive.
How?
Yes, yes. how?
Otherwise, we'll get FIRs
No,
be filed, no recommend, nothing happening.
Yes.
Past so long
See,
against CM, against former CM, against
Correct,
this one,
correct.
against that
So
one.
I'm-
It's just
I'm-
paperwork,
correct.
waste of
Let us-
time, waste of money.
Let us see. As far as the see, whether we like it or not, today we accept the Chief Justice of India, the Chief Justice of our High Courts, to be at least guardians against various executive excesses. So
Yes.
I would say if finally a Lokayukta is a High Court judge. Earlier he was a Supreme Court judge. Now today
Yes.
we will find, let this appointment come from the level of Chief Justice of the High Court or Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, and maybe 2 or 3 judges who are senior most, so that the executive is completely insulated in at least the appointment of the Lokayukta.
Okay,
Then-
assume you have a very good Lokayukta. Assume you have a
Yes.
very good Lokayukta.
You have
What
a
is
very
the
good
point? He
Lokayukta.
will see this.
Yes.
Even our in Goa Lokayuktas
Yes.
have
I'm
given
coming to
good decisions.
I'm
But
coming-
then,
I'm
what is
coming
the
to-
point? What is the use?
Yes, certainly I'm coming. Next point is that a Lokayukta, as I have said earlier, must not be a recommendatory body. It
Yes.
must be a body which can prosecute. It must be a body which can itself file FIRs. It must be a body which can file a case in a court of law. I mean, depending upon the subject matter involved. It files a FIR in some matters. In some matters, where it comes to a conclusive evidence, it files a prosecution in a court of law. So that in certain matters, at least there is prosecution. The recommendations are not left at the level of the government, where the government just throws the recommendations out. So let it happen that the Lokayukta's recommendations are binding on the government, at least in the matter of cases where the Lokayukta says there is an offence made out.
Okay.
See, there may be matters where offences are not made out. There may be matters of maladministration, and there may be matters of offences. There's a matter of corruption. There's a matter where offence is clearly made out, where the Lokayukta feels that this can be prosecuted in the court of law. There may be matters where administration requires correction. Now, the matters where administration requires correction, where offence is not made out, the government can thereafter correct. But at least where offences are clearly made out, I would say that the Lokayukta must have a prosecution wing, investigation wing, and it prosecutes those people.
But how? How is it? Are we going to force the government to do that? Make it a election promise or make it something? How? How?
Unless you change the Lokayukta Act 2011,
Okay.
nothing is possible. So the
But
act
why
will
would
have
they
to be
change
amended.
it? Why would the government change it? Do
Yes.
you really think that it would want its ministers to be prosecuted or its MLAs or its people? You think so?
Correct. You are right there. Until we force the government, we force maybe it's a election time promise. Maybe we force every party to see to it that such changes come about. Now you will find, you have just now told me that in pandemic times there are cases of corruption. In
Yes.
fact, we are talking about it in day-to-day affairs. You look at the papers, the media, both the print media as well as visual media is talking of, and that too in pandemic times, that too in a department where it was not expected.
Yes.
So,
Who can do
I
what
think
about it? Nothing.
Yes, nothing has happened. So maybe in the next elections, the civil society will have to demand from the parties that we will amend this law. Now, whether this would be taken up, I mean, this is left up to them, because unless you change the law, nothing is going to happen. The law deserves to be changed.
Okay, thanks, Dator. We are almost we are out of time actually. So I don't know if leaving it up to the government it will be of any help, but
Leaving out to the
possibly
government
it
would depend upon how forceful the civil society
yes,
acts.
exactly. Yes. Thank you, Dator. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and keep watching Goa 365.